She ducked inside the shop to escape a sudden downpour, a narrow place squeezed between shuttered storefronts, its window crowded with brass gears and glass faces. A hand-painted sign read, "Hours kept here." The bell above the door chimed like a small, polite apology. The shop smelled of oil and dust and lemon polish. Clocks of every size lined the walls, mantles, pocket watches, cuckoos, frozen mid-flight. Behind the counter, an old man with steady hands wound a too-large key. He didn't look up. He only nodded once, as if timing permitted small courtesies. She asked for shelter, a place to wait the storm. He pointed to a chair beneath a tall grandfather clock whose pendulum swung with a sound that felt less like time and more like a heartbeat. "Wait," he said. His voice was gentle and a little rusty. "They'll be exact." No one else came in. Rain tattooed the window. The clocks ticked in a pattern too tidy to be accidental. Click, pause, click, each sound a measured footstep. She fished for her phone. No service, the screen reading the kind of blank that suggests small things have been postponed. After a while, the grandfather clock's face fogged from an inside breath. Numbers rearranged themselves. The second hand stuttered, then ran wild, counting backward in a voice that had the wrong authority. She stood to leave and nearly bumped into a glass case of pocket watches. Each watch had a tiny tag tied with string. Names. Her name was not among them, yet. On the counter, a small brass hourglass sat on a velvet cushion. The sand inside shimmered like ground bone. The clockmaker watched her with eyes that had watched too many departures. "You can go when your hour comes," he said, absently turning a key in a reluctant gear. "Or you can wait. We fix what's broken." She laughed, a sharp, nervous sound, and tried the door. It refused. Not locked, simply disinclined to open. The rain outside blurred into a gray smear. Inside, the clocks sped up together, a chorus of anxious teeth. From the back of the shop came a soft scraping, like someone dragging a stool across wood. A small boy appeared, bare of shoes, hair wet as if he'd been standing in a storm. He carried a watch cupped in both hands. Its face was cracked. Behind the glass, a faded photograph peered back. A smile she'd seen in an old family album, a father she barely remembered. "Do you want it fixed?" the boy asked, voice small. "We fixed them so they go back to being what you had." She felt the photograph curl under her skin. Memory folded up like paper and slipped out from somewhere near her ribs. Names, dates, small embarrassments, things she'd thought resolved, unwound themselves into the air. The grandfather clock chimed, not on the hour, but on a note that settled in her teeth. The sand in the hourglass trembled and dropped a single grain. One name on the tag snap-fastened itself to the watch in the boy's hands. Her name, neat and trembling. Terrified, she backed toward the counter. "No," she said. "No, this is wrong." The clockmaker smiled as if measuring the weight of a promise. "Everyone brings something," he said. "We return what's asked for. Sometimes the asking is quiet." The boy opened the cracked watch. Where the photograph should have been, a hollow glinted. The crack widened like a mouth. A sound like a distant lullaby escaped. A promise, a plea, a small name called in the dark. Her throat closed. She lunged for the door. It opened easily then, the rain an honest assault of cold and wet. She ran without looking back. At home, she checked drawers, boxes, every place where memory might hide. The photograph she remembered, her father on a pier, smiling, was gone. In its place, on a yellowed receipt, someone had written one word in a hand that curdled her stomach. Kept. That night, in the fog of sleep, she dreamt of gears grinding in a shop where time is mended. A child tapped a cracked watch and counted backwards until names slipped out of mouths and into velvet cushions. Weeks later, when the rain starts soft and the roads smell of turned earth, she sometimes finds a small brass tag on her shoe, neat handwriting, a single name. She never keeps it long. They say if you wander too long on stormy nights and you find a shop that fixes ours, don't ask them to mend what you miss. Ask instead what they demand in exchange. Because the clockmaker keeps time the way a careful gardener tends roots. He gives you back what you plant, and sometimes a thing you buried comes up whole and quiet and no longer yours.